Hello and welcome to the 27th episode of Pedz Game Shack. Today I am joined by Jeffyard. Again.
Again.
I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying again because he's been on here previously. That is it. We all love Jeff.
You ragged on.
We all love Jeff's yard.
Okay. Hello, everybody, again.
So, before we begin talking about stuff, I would like the game stuff. Just wondering how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. I feel like I've made an enemy out of my niece in that she's round yesterday and she's putting pegs on my bicycle. And she came up to me and she went, "I fixed your bike." So I saw the pegs and I jokingly went, "Oh, my bike!" Like something out of a cartoon, I suppose, but it just made her cry.
You cruel bastard.
Really, I know.
That's just mean.
I can't reason with her, though. I was trying to say, I was joking, but yeah, I felt like a monster.
You felt like you truly are.
Yeah, exactly.
You been up to much otherwise?
Aside from work, down in London next week doing some ghost or boat ride thing. It's just like a touristy thing, but I think it'd be pretty funny.
Sounds like it might be fun.
Doing. Yeah.
You made anyone else suffer through 3 hours of film?
You know what? I rewatched Cloud Atlas, and I think I'd give it even stronger praise than I did, to be honest.
Disgusting. To me, it's just like a vaulted mess of bullshit. Like the book sounds more interesting to me than the film was.
Yeah, I think I think it's quite difficult to transcribe it into film with the amount that it obviously cost and stuff.
Yeah,
I was thinking, I did have a film in mind actually. If I was ever invited back to one of the film podcasts, I've forgotten it now, so I'd have to.
I was gonna say, let me whip out Internet Movie Database to see the length of this film, and then we'll discuss it.
Oh no, it was only gonna be like an hour or so. If that, I think it's a fairly short one.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I split my mind now.
Well, you'll have to remember. We haven't picked a film for the next episode, which we'll be recording Friday. So I need to get in touch with someone and be like, "Oh, do you want to watch a film? Do you want to pick a film, please?"
Make it 3.5 hours of convoluted mush. I mean, I feel like you've got to have the long ones, right, to make you appreciate the short ones.
I think that you've got to have a big variety of things so that you get all different qualities of film, different lengths, then you can get good bearings on what you like and dislike and what the what the one or two people who listen to the podcast think about my opinion and the guest's opinion. So there you go.
It's just an excuse to watch a movie as well.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, with games, like, obviously I was doing this podcast first, and I'm more of a gamer than a film watcher. But when it's like, hey, I'm going to do a podcast in 2 weeks, do you want to play this game? Oh, it's only 100 hours long, or even 20 hours, and that for some people is a push, because obviously various things, job, family, playing other games, streaming, whatever that's going on in their life, even if they just can't be asked half the time. It's a lot more of an uptake than just going, I'll stick this film on for an hour and a half and it's done.
Yeah. I tell you what I have watched for the first time, and many people will be like, how
Debbie Does Dallas.
Not quite that. It's not nuns with big guns or whatever. It's The Sixth Sense.
You only recently watched that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a dad say it says. I mean, I obviously knew the twist coming up to it, so being able
Okay,
to.
that kind of spoils it for you though. Going into it, do you enjoy it though?
Yeah, I feel like The Sixth Sense would have been one of those films that you would have wanted to watch twice anyway, to catch all the bits that you missed. Because when you know the twist, obviously going into it a second time and you can sort of piece everything together. So although it sucks that one of the biggest, but I mean I think I got spoiled from The Simpsons, from Jizz in My Pants, the music video for that one. If you know that song, that includes a spoiler in it. Yeah,
Every song contains a spoiler of some sort.
yeah, too.
I don't know how
But
that
no,
works, but it works. It works. I'm making shit up, and it works. It doesn't work at all.
I don't know. I think it may be Aquamoon, the Barbie movie. Have you seen the Barbie movie?
I have not.
No. Do you know whether they party in the Barbie movie?
The what? What?
Whether they have a party?
I have a
Because
party. I have no
yeah.
idea. I just know that the film is meant to be pretty decent, pretty good, and I think it's like the highest grossing film of the year. I actually wanted to watch Barbie, but I just haven't got around to it. I will watch it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'll watch it. I've watched I've watched Thomas the Tank in cinema. I ain't gonna complain about watching Barbie in the cinema. I've seen Paw Patrol in the cinema.
Yeah, that's just by yourself, right?
Oh, I had the kids with me, of course. How dare you?
Yeah,
you're a silly Billy.
but then you went down the second time out by yourself just to appreciate it again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? What's a pretty like some kids' movies can be pretty. Um, I guess what's a word like um, quite deep. I guess I've not necessarily Paw Patrol, but
How dare
Lego
you?
Movie is a good one. And the Postman Pat movie as well was sort of like all automation coming in, taking out the postal workers off, taking their jobs and stuff. And you figure, maybe it's quite hard hitters, especially when you consider what's going on with the rail companies and all the strikes that are happening there.
Yeah, a lot of, I think, a lot of like family films, especially then, more so than just direct children films, like I don't know, fucking Noddy the movie or something. Don't know if that is that, but I'm saying there is. A lot of family films will have stuff there for entertaining the children, but I think a lot of the time they'll have a deeper, like, meaning behind a lot of things for the adults to kind of latch onto, to get behind. And obviously I think a lot, like I was speaking to, I think it was Cumberdanes the other day, I was saying to him like that a lot of films can be quite deep in this in that respect, but also they can kind of help children to deal with certain aspects of life through entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, look at things like Coco, like Inside Out, lots of films like that. And there's films going, generations of like a fucking Bambi. Bambi's mother gets shot, man. Spoilers. But you know what I'm trying to say. There's things
That's another film I can't watch now for the first time.
If you've never watched Bambi, I swear to God, Jeff, I'm gonna slap you in the balls.
I have watched Bambi.
So you should have.
Yeah, I feel like those kinds of movies are the ones that do stand the test of time, the ones that are a bit more, as you say, across the generational gap, where you've got the bright fluffy characters, the bright colours that the kids will enjoy, like Inside Out, for example. I've seen that movie, and you've got the big imaginary friend, that dopey Bing Bong or whatever he's called, and then obviously teenagers will get something different out of the emotions, what they're possibly going through at the time, and adults will also.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like Turning Red's another one, especially mainly for like everyone can enjoy it, but for girls and stuff, it's gonna have a bit more of an impact.
Yeah, I've not seen that one, but is that to do with like menstruation and
It is, yeah. Turning Red, yes. They turn into a panda. Oh, you finally had your panda. I don't think that's exactly what they say. But, oh well, you finally had your. Oh fucking hell, I was stupid.
Finally had your panda. That could be a quote of the podcast. The Panda Cat.
You finally had your panda. Right.
Yeah. So that's up like an allegory for the periods and
exactly. Yeah. I think that's the thing. Like they can touch things that are fairly subtle, but will also resonate with many people, and that's only a good thing at the end of the day. So yeah. Anyway,
absolutely.
I think, Jeff, that we should start talking about games instead of films.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, for turning this gaming podcast into a filming podcast. But, yeah.
Film ones next week. So, for those who are new to the podcast, we do 3 segments, sometimes 2. The first segment is currently playing, where me and Jeff will discuss games that we are currently playing. Second segment is top news, where we discuss some of the news in the game industry, or sometimes Jeff, when he comes on, every time Jeff comes on, he's come with a funny little news story to entertain us all. And I believe it's the same this time. And the third is We Play Together, where we discuss the game that we chose for the episode to play and discuss at the end. So...
only take a minute.
Probably. I like it. So, Jeff, what are you currently playing?
Again, it's quite a big range of games, so I'll rush through them and maybe we can focus on one or two. But at the moment, it's Boyfriend Dungeon, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Crash Bandicoot 4 still.
Oh my god!
Still.
I've been playing Crash Bandicoot 4 since it came out.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? I mean, are you enjoying it?
What is wrong with you? I don't know if you could play a clip in your podcast, but there's one scene where so the last stream, I'm on the penultimate level of getting like all the perfect relics, so going through the levels, getting all the crates without dying. And I got through the level, got all the crates, didn't die. And at the end of each level, there's like a nitro switch that you press and then it destroys all the nitros in the level.
Yeah.
And because I was so excited to get through the penultimate level, not dying, I went into the end. Then I saw the nitro switch. I was like desperately trying to rush back, but it's too late. I was like, oh, for God's sake, I forgot the effing nitro switch. Yeah, it's painful. But yeah, Final Fantasy 3 as well, the Pixel remaster I'm enjoying.
So with those games there, Boyfriend Dungeon, I think you've discussed it before with me briefly. How are you getting on with that? Because I'm sure you were playing that a while ago. Or am I thinking of something not done Boyfriend Dungeon? I'm thinking of something else, actually. Something Daddy dating. Daddy. Dream Daddy, that's the one.
Yeah,
so how's Boyfriend Dungeon?
Similar to Dream Daddy, really. It's quite a wholesome game. It's like a roguelike. But
okay.
And in between there's like visual novel, typical dating sim stuff. So yeah, each of your sort of potential partners are turned into weapons. You go for this dungeon. Fight your characters in the phase, so it's quite a wholesome story. Doesn't take itself too seriously, so yeah, I'd say it's a pretty cool game if you can pick it up.
What is it, like a dungeon crawling kind of top-down isometric hack and slash, or
yeah, sort of Hades-esque.
I haven't played Hades. God damn it, Jeff.
But you know what? you know what Hades is and what it entails, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, I've not played Hades, but I imagine it's not quite as deep as Hades, but similar.
Yeah.
If you play Hades, just think of a dating version of that.
How much time have you put into it then?
Um, I've sort of been streaming it. I think I've done maybe 8 or 9 streams, typically lasting about an hour, so probably 8 or 9 hours. I feel like I'm fairly near the end of it, so maybe a 12 to 13 hour game if you're just sort of playing through it casually.
All right. So with the right, you saying it's got like a visual novel side and a dungeon crawling
Yeah.
side, and the people you date in and stuff you take in as weapons. Does the visual novel stuff kind of correspond with the dungeon crawling aspect? Like if you do something specific with people in one, will it affect the other in some way, or is it just like the kind of separate, or what?
It's pretty set. I mean, saying visual novel, maybe that's not the. It's like you sort of go on your dates outside of the dungeons, and then that's sort of more like text based. In the dungeons, you can collect items and they're like little break rooms where you can have a chat with the people you brought with you, with the weapon
Cool.
that you brought with you, and then you can give them a gift that will influence their relationship, and at the end they'll decide whether they sort of want to be platonic with you or
Yeah, right.
if
Um,
they want to be romantic.
yeah, sounds like a pretty interesting game, really, considering this it seems like they've taken two different genres there and kind of made them work, like, which is a good
Yeah,
thing.
it's pretty much just taking two different things. Like I guess sort of how Persona does RPG and a visual novel in
Mm,
between that sort of stuff. Um, so,
yeah, I've only really played Persona 4 Golden, and I never finished it. I got up to like the third dungeon or something, and then I stopped playing it because I just did because I'm a twat. There you go. What else to say we're playing? Crash Bandicoot 4, which we don't need to talk about.
no.
Final Fantasy 3 remaster, a pixel remaster, and something else. What was
Yeah.
that?
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Okay, so Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is the PlayStation 5 game, the newest Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah.
Don't be too spoilery, but how you getting on with that, and how does it compare to the previous games?
I think I'm very near the end of it. I'd say compared to previous games, it's very much sort of in the style of, I guess, the later Ratchet games. So the PS3 version,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me. Whereas, and in particular, I'm thinking like Into the Nexus or Ratchet Clank, the 2016 remake. Um, Whereas like the old school ones sort of had like your platforming elements in. This one still has platforming elements, but it's very much focused on the gunplay, I'd say. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It is to be a bit shorter compared to some of the others, but they've done a really good job with the levels, how they've worked it, all the different gadgets you can get, like get these hover boots so you can just go gliding about. It's very, very fast paced, I'd say. So yeah, it's I'd say it's been a blast to play through.
That's cool. I do want to get Rift Apart, but I'm not really well versed in Ratchet and Clank. So like my plan was ages ago. I set up my PlayStation 3, grabbed all the Ratchet and Clank games like a year and a half ago or something, maybe longer, and I was like, right, I'm going to play through all the games. I just haven't got around to doing it.
Yeah, I've actually been playing. So I've almost editing it down, but I played Ratchet and Clank the original. Recorded it off the PS5 on the PS Plus thing.
Yeah,
Streaming it. And recorded it to put on YouTube. And yeah, I was having because I really dig like the Ratchet and Clank 2 was my favourite, but Ratchet and Clank 1 has sort of a special place because that is very much platforming with guns rather than guns with a platforming, if that makes sense.
yeah, it makes perfect sense.
And then over time, it's sort of the gameplay sort of shifted. But yeah, I just had a blast playing it, and it's sort of one of those trips through memory lane where you get to these levels, you hear the tunes, and it's just like a nostalgia-gasm.
I'm not really played them much. Like I did get a PS2, but I had a GameCube first, and most of my time went into that. And most of my time on the PS2 was playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1, 2, 3, Budokai Tenkaichi, or Tenkaichi. I think it's called Tenkaichi. Yeah, I think so. One of them. And then 1, 2, 3. Then yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like Dragon Ball Z. What can I say?
Fair enough.
But
yeah, because you played the Kakarot game, didn't you?
Yeah, I streamed that. I played through it from beginning to end. But all the DLC is out now, so I do plan to I need to finish Zelda and then play some other games, because on stream the only game I've played apart from with Cumberdanes is Zelda in fucking ages. Like I was thinking. Maybe Mondays and Fridays I'll do Zelda, and then other days I'll play something else. Otherwise, I'm never going to play another game again.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I've not really caught you about aside from with sort of Cumberdanes in the evening. But yeah, so has it sort of been for yourself? Has it been sort of Zelda, and what have you been playing with Cumberdanes?
Yeah, it's pretty much all it's been, man. Which is a shame because Zelda's taken up too much of my time. Such a big fucking game. Like I've not put loads of hours in, but I put in over 60 hours, and I've only done one temple, I think, maybe two now. I think I've still only done one. So I've still got loads to go, and it's like I want to start playing more on my streams. Like Spider-Man is out soon, as in Spider-Man 2, and like I've got that ready, pre-ordered, ready to play. I don't want to play that, but I'd probably play that off stream because I don't want people coming in going, this happens in Spider-Man. I'm like, fuck off, because they'll just. But then again, the last game I plan on doing now was Last of Us 2, and I still haven't played it. And I had it since launch.
Guys who are watching, just for a little Jeffyard Pedz lore, the first sort of game, or one of the first games that I saw Pedz stream, I think the first game that I saw Pedz stream was what's it called? The Alien game with Jasm. That was on like Mega Drive. Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah.
And then Jasm and Pedz were sort of streaming Spider-Man simultaneously. Around the same time as each other, and when Jasmine got to the robot arm bit, Jasmine was like waving about, saying hello. when Pedz got to the robot arm bit, he's like, "How can I make it look like it's wanky?"
Jasmine, so immature.
I've always been sort of my formative memories of Twitch.
What? It's not my fault.
No, it's not. I'm just wondering what Spider-Man 2 will bring.
More masturbation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your sticky web.
Anything else you've been playing? Are you you ever played through Final Fantasy 3 previously? Because I know you played through the Pixel remaster.
I've played the 3D version on DS and on Steam. Yeah. Again, Final Fantasy 3 is one that I do enjoy. Not my favourite. I think just given how old it is, how sort of limited the story is compared to some of the others. But
it's also bullshit. I was watching your stream the other day, and this person threw a shoe at you, like, "No, watch the shoe! It's the wrong shoe!" And it blew up. And then they're like, "Oh, it's a different shoe," and they threw the exact same shoe to you.
Yeah, it's I think it's quite a quick game. Obviously, the shoe thing, I imagine at the time would have just been a limitation in graphics, and I don't know why we didn't change up the shoe for a Pixel remaster. But
they could have just changed like one little thing, like like on the top of the shoe, it could have been like gold around like a band on it or something, just to make it different. But that's just lazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's apart from getting shoes lobbed at you, no, it's cool. Got a good few ideas that sort of see development in later Final Fantasy games. Like the job system gets a huge uplift in Final Fantasy V. I guess like the modes of transports. Has about 4 different airships, and then in later Final Fantasy games you sort of get it again. They sort of build on the different modes of transport. So.
Yeah. What's your favourite Final Fantasy of the Pixel ones?
Oh, I've only played the first 3 so far, so yeah, I couldn't pick. It's like even. So Zozo asked me how would I rank the Final Fantasy games, and I honestly can't do it. I can sort of like put a group of them in a range, like I can say, oh, these are my sort of top ones, and then these are the ones that are still great but aren't my favorite. But I couldn't say, okay, number 1 is so and so, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that sort of stuff.
If I said to you, pick one Final Fantasy game that's your favourite, or grate your balls with a cheese grater, what would you pick?
I mean, I can pick my favourite one. That would be Final Fantasy VIII.
No, ban request. I don't play Final Fantasy VIII apart from the very beginning of it. So,
not everybody's favourite, but I think it's sort of like everybody remembers a formative game, like the first one, or and it's that sort of nostalgia, and as it takes place in a school. When I was playing it, I was also in school, so you sort of feel that attachment, I guess, to Squall, the main character.
Well, the first Final Fantasy I finished was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest for the Super Nintendo, and therefore it's the best one.
Fair enough. It's got great music, that one.
Yeah, it's got cracking music. Would you like to move on to the news?
Yeah, by all means. The news.
Yeah, that's not how we do it on your. I make fart noises with my armpit, and then we go from there.
Oh, I see.
So the top news this week is brought to you by Jeffyard. He decided he would like to talk about 2 different things. One thing I will touch on is myself. The top news is Microsoft through Xbox, or just Microsoft in general, now own Activision Blizzard King. It's all gone through, so give it a few years and lots of this stuff will be on Game Pass. For me personally, it doesn't affect me because I don't really play Activision Blizzard King games. I think maybe if things end up being exclusive to Xbox completely, it might have a effect on, the gaming industry with lack of like so many things being exclusive going. Maybe it's going to end up a point with lack of proper like competition and shit like that. But who knows? What do you think, Jeff? What do you think?
To be honest, I completely missed this. So we've purchased Activision. Are the games not exclusive to Xbox, so it's still sort of going on PlayStation or?
I believe at the moment Call of Duty and stuff has been offered a 10-year contract with Sony and Nintendo and whoever else. So Call of Duty will still be, but there's I don't know about other games. So like they could bring out a new Crash Bandicoot, but it might be exclusive to Xbox, for example.
Right. Or
Tony Hawk's or
exclusives, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I mean, because I believe Sony had a bit of a challenged this decision, right? Or tried to attempt to block it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really play too many Activision games. It's not something that I'd be too fussed about personally, and yeah, I'm sure people who are more invested in Activision and in sort of the console wars will probably have more of an opinion on it. But yeah, for myself, I'm not too fussed. I think in terms of what impact it might have, yeah, I'm sure it will have a beneficial impact for Microsoft. I did see in recent weeks that there's a supposed leaked email.
Oh yeah, with the thing saying they want to buy Nintendo thing. Yeah, that's that would be their greatest achievement kind of thing. I think. Can't remember the exact wording, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Japan would allow it.
No, I cannot see any possibility of that. I mean, that would be a game changer, I think. But no, I don't see any possibility of that happening at all. But as we do that email, it's like, oh, this is real.
I think it was a real email, but it was like it's a few years old, like 3 or 4 years old. I think it was 2020, so yeah, 3 years, 2019, 2020, 3 or 4 years old. And I think quite a few things have changed since then, but at the same time, yeah.
But in terms of Activision, yeah, but certainly I'd say it's a success for Microsoft that it's all gone through. How will it affect the games industry? We'll have to see how they choose to release the games in future. If they sort of keep it Xbox exclusive or Game Pass exclusive, and not release it on Sony at all, then I can imagine, it'll probably be a loss overall to those PlayStation exclusive users. And I mean, I think over time it's sort of been that the industry is like, it's not too many games. Okay, I guess Spider-Man and Ratchet for PlayStation I can think of for being PlayStation exclusive. Gran Turismo,
God of War.
Yeah, God of War. And
it's quite a lot. I think PlayStation have probably got, in the last few years, I would say PlayStation has higher quality exclusives, personally speaking.
Naughty Dog games as well. Although even some of those are coming to PC, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they'll probably release Last of Us Part 1 remake on PlayStation 6, so they'll be sorted. But the thing is, with a lot of the companies, they're making loads of layoffs because they've spent so much money on stuff they're making layoffs, and yet like the CEOs and the board members and all that are getting fucking tons of money. It's like, just have a little less and keep your fucking workforce going to make your fucking games.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's yeah, I sort of see on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Twitter.
You know, every Twitter. You know, every few weeks it seems to be another game companies making layoffs. Like, was it the people behind Fall Guys?
Yes, they were. A lot of them were made redundant, laid off via Epic.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think the same things happened with Bandcamp as well, which was purchased by Epic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sucks.
it's a shame because the game industry. I mean, I don't work in it, but it does seem quite close knit, quite a small
Yeah,
area to work in, and when you sort of put in jobs left, right, and centre, you're just
yeah.
creating huge demand for not very many.
Exactly, and then you hear
Yeah.
about like fucking terrible working conditions, the amount of hours people work, and then the people at the top who don't really do that much getting most of the
Yeah.
money, and it just sucks ass, man. It's a problem with capitalism, I guess. What was it you wanted to talk about, man?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was just going to ask what your view on the Activision purchase was.
Like I said, like I think that, like for me personally, like I said, it won't make much of a difference. I don't really play the games. I'm unsure on how it will impact the game industry itself, because, like, while I don't think that most gamers then play Activision Blizzard games a lot, it's got to be Activision with Call of Duty, for example, then has a massive reach, because there are people who are really into the games who play Call of Duty on a regular basis as well as other games. But then there's other people who don't play a lot of games but still play Call of Duty. So I think, will that translate into Xbox sales, or will it translate into less people getting into games at all? Because you might have people who will get Call of Duty, play Call of Duty, and I think, oh, I'll try some other games, and then get into the industry. But if they only buy in a certain console because their friends have that console, if say like the PS6 comes out but it doesn't get COD, then their friends might not bother buying. Like, they might buy the games, the console for the exclusives, but they would normally play COD with their friends there. And that friend who they play with only buys the PlayStation 6 to play COD with the other person who plays many games. They're then not going to buy it. And, like, is that going to be a detriment to gaming as a whole? You know?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
we can only wait and see. But for 10 years, I think everything is Garen stuff still. So, well, at least COD. I don't know about anything else.
yeah, and I mean, 10 years. It's
It's not long,
quite a
but it is long.
significant chunk of time. Yeah, it's I mean, time does seem to go flying past nowadays, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of room to change, and I'm sure the shape
The
of the
older you
industry.
get, the faster it goes, telling you
I
now.
know, right? It does. It's like
I'm still in my 30s and I feel like fucking one day lasts 5 minutes.
I just can't believe we're in October. It doesn't feel like 12 months ago we were, but 5 minutes ago we were in January 23, and
I know.
yeah.
Shocking.
And then I don't know whether you get the same thing, but I keep getting my years mixed up because of the pandemic. It's sort of like comes
Yeah.
over separate chunks as well, where we
I
were.
get everything mixed up, years, days, months. I'm fucking over. I even get my kids' names mixed up. I even sometimes call my dog one of the kids. Instead of, or one of the kids will go, Bugs! No, not the dog. And they'll be like, what? I think I'm just going insane, man. I blame you. Don't know why, but it's your fault.
Sorry, I do apologise.
So you should.
I've got two news stories for us. So I'll start with a more serious one, which was recently in London we had EGX, which is a sort of gaming show, gaming event in London. Um, I didn't go down there, but people who did go were Just Stop Oil, who ended up throwing paint over some people doing a Tekken tournament, and sort of disrupting that. Um, and yeah, it's just sort of trying to think of gaming news. Obviously, that big one apparently went over my head of Microsoft Activision review, but yeah, I felt this one was quite I guess because perhaps for the international listeners, Just Stop Oil, there's sort of like a protest movement and trying to, I guess, raise awareness of the amount of oil that we're using and sort of using quite disruptive means of getting the point across.
Yeah.
And
it's all about climate change, for example.
Yeah.
And for those listening who don't believe it, climate change is real. Even a lot of I've noticed like a lot of things like that, but like, yeah, climate change is bullshit. I've now turned to climate change is real, you know, but it's too late to do anything about it now. And it's like, well, you've had plenty of time to fucking deal with it. Why haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's arguing with a core message, and I'd certainly think there's plenty of time to start looking into renewable energies, start, you know, reducing the amount of oil and gas that we are consuming. Even, I mean, I'm even looking at my own room now, and I'm seeing 3 laptops, 2 of which are turned on for this podcast, and
disgusting.
Yeah, and I know. Do I need that? Probably not. Well, definitely not. But yeah,
yeah, you do.
But yeah, I certainly think that we should be making moves to sort of you know, get ourselves away from using the finite resources that we have and working towards renewables and
yeah,
it's
something needs to be done. The issue with Just Stop Oil is not for me personally, but the issue seems to be the way they're going about it is like kind of heavy-handed, like you said yourself.
Yeah.
But the thing you have there is like time is running out for us to do something. If they just do what people have done in the past of just like, I know, a little protest outside of Westminster, people don't care enough. Like the whole point of these protests is to raise awareness, and to do the best way in a way is probably by causing some sort of disruption. Like I was saying to you earlier, before we started the podcast, you look at like the suffragettes and the movement in America with Martin Luther King Jr. A lot of things was happening there that people would have kind of taken history and like changed it in ways, because they're like, yeah, like these things, like they protested and did what they did, but like if I'm pretty sure like the suffragettes did a hell of a lot of shit, which is probably worse than what these protesters are doing. But if they didn't do that, women nowadays wouldn't get any of the rights they have compared to, because they didn't have them then. So I understand why people are frustrated with these kind of protests, but at the same time, I can completely understand why they're doing it, because this is like leading to an extinction level event.
Yeah.
So But you look
I
at past
mean,
things. You look at the past protests of things from bigger movements, and a lot of it involved really disruptive things. It's like I remember someone saying online, like, you wouldn't see the suffragettes lying down on a horse track, and then there's a fucking news article of the suffragettes doing just that back in the day, like, you know. So they did do things like that. It's just for some reason we've got this revisionist history where all they did was sit down quietly and say, please let me vote. That isn't what happened.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think because it is Emily Davison, the horse race suffragette, and I think if I remember, she jumped in front of a king's horse and got I think she got killed, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, certainly. And you go back to say Rosa Parks as well, not giving a seat up on the bus, which at the time would have been unthinkable. And yeah, she stood her ground, or sat her ground, I guess, and yeah, that sort of went to going towards the black rights movements at the time, and all very important stuff, of course.
That's
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like a lot of people nowadays, they're like, they seem to forget what came before when it comes to certain things, and it's like, well, this is kind of disrupting my day, so fuck 'em. I'd rather the world burn. And it's like, well,
yeah, mild inconvenience over.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Like, I can
and,
understand when people are worried about emergency vehicles and stuff, but like most things I've seen have said, they are actually moving out of the way for emergency vehicles when they've like blocked roads and stuff. So I can understand why they've done this on a big stage, because it's like a big gaming event. So it's another thing to kind of promote the Just Stop Oil thing. But also I think it had links with Barclays and various other things, which also stuff has shares in, like, I don't know, Shell or something. But yeah, it's a shame that like we're in this position that we're in. I think with the way the UK government are going with like banning protesting and being able to arrest whoever they want, it's just going to make things worse and worse, because people are going to have less and less rights.
yeah,
And then people keep voting for that because they fucking morons.
yeah, and ultimately, it's probably not ourselves who have to, and I think that's the sort of main issue, is we're just sort of kicking the can further down the road, and it's like, oh, it's not us who have to deal with it; it's the next generation or generation after them. Let them sort it out. But yeah. I think. I mean, it sort of makes me want to. Like, sometimes I sort of wake up and think, oh, wouldn't it be cool just to make an invention that can generate energy out of nothing? And yeah, it's not likely for me because I'm too stupid. But
just connect your bike to your electricity supply and just ride for hours, and then you'll be able to power a white light bulb for a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's to be fair, I think like people used to say when I was cycling or running and stuff. Do you know those little Pokemon stuff, like the Tamagotchi things that you got with Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you used to give them to me to get the steps in, because I think it worked based on movement, right? Or it might have been Pokemon Go eggs, giving me my phone,
might have been that.
the phone for the run. Um,
Ever.
well, in lighter news, um, and perhaps still on the topic of I guess environment. There's
Okay.
a lady, who was going through an airport, and as she's going through an airport, she declared that she had a box of giraffe feces, giraffe poo, in her bag, because she wanted to make a necklace out of it.
Blech.
Yeah.
Why?
And apparently she's made one out of moose poo
Why?
before.
Why would you want poop around your neck?
Well, and I was thinking, I mean, the reason it's confiscated is
Because it's poop.
she did declare the items, but it is because of a disease that could have been contracted.
It's poop.
If she, yeah, and I was thinking, what would you make a necklace out of?
Your
What kind of
testicles.
animal poo?
Oh, animal poo.
Testicles.
I was going to say your testicles. Because we all know Jeff got 6. What poo would I use?
Yeah.
Rabbit poo. So then I can walk around and say it's Nesquik.
Hey, very good.
I wouldn't think of a poo to put around my neck. I'll be completely honest, because it's poo.
Yeah,
it's gross. There's not a particularly sexy looking poo that I look at and go, I want to run that on my neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not something like, but you think of like the most expensive coffee that this civet.
Yeah. It's like eaten by a wherever you just said, and then it's pooped out, and then they collect the beans, and yeah, that's weird, man.
I mean, obviously the beans are cleaned up properly, but...
supposedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, it's to be fair, I did actually have some civet coffee. Jittery sent me some.
All right. Where's mine, Jittery? Fuck! What the fuck? Where's my poopy fucking coffee, Jittery?
So that you can make a necklace out of it.
I'll fucking drink it. I'll give her a try.
It was good. It was good, to be fair.
Was it worth the asking price? I'm not saying that you paid for it. I'm just saying, like, it's really expensive. Would it be worth that, or would you rather just have a Kenko or whatever you drink?
I wouldn't buy it, and that's not to say, like, I don't think she got like the proper expensive stuff. I think. I mean, I think it's still moderately expensive compared to coffee, but yeah, it's probably not something I'd purchase myself. But yeah, if ever somebody said, "Oh, I've got some civet coffee, do you want some?" I'd say, yeah.
Fair enough. I've never tried it, and I probably never will. What animal's poop would you put around your neck then?
I'd have bear shit. Like I say, I'm wearing Winnie the Pooh.
Jesus Christ. I'd have a chain with a little jar, and in there I'll have back guano. And then if someone annoys me, I'll throw it and I'll chuck a match down, and then hopefully it'll explode. I wouldn't do that, it's just cruel, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, the one I wouldn't have is I wouldn't make it out of cow shit, because that just slop everywhere.
Yeah. Or horse shit. It's kind of like grass with bits of poo on it. Why are we talking about poo so much, dude?
No, sorry, I'll try to find a better story. It's just not. But when I'm searching for funny stories, all the other ones are like miserable. It's like, okay, let's.
I prefer the mayor. The mayor one. What was it? Pony?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good story.
I'll try to beat the pony as a mayor next time.
Yeah.
That'll be what I aim for.
Or some people say the mayor, because, you know, the mayor. The mayor. Sounds better to me. So we're going to move on to Let's Play Together, where we talk about a game called Minit.
Right, now, before we go into this, when you first told me that we were going to be playing Minit, I misread it as Mint, and I googled Mint on Steam, and it's like a platformer game, where you play as like some toothpaste that's hunting around, and it's quite colourful, quite bright. So when and when you gifted me the game, I still read it as Mint, so downloaded it. I was thinking, okay, is this going to be a nice platformer, or a mediocre platformer? Because I don't think the reviews are great, but yeah. So when I played it, I was in for the shock of my life at this game.
Why is that? Is it because it's not a very colourful game and not a platformer?
Yeah, and because everything I did resulted in my death. So I pressed. I think I accidentally pressed circle because I was playing on PlayStation controller, and that kills me.
Yeah.
I didn't realise there's a timer because I think that's the sort of gimmick of a game that you've got a minute to use whatever you need. So I saw the timer going down. I was like, oh, what's happening there? That went down, and then I died. I accidentally hit a smiling thing, and then that killed me. So, yeah, it's. I sort of wished I recorded it, to be honest.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, it's what I've played of it so far. Like I've got a fair way into it, I think, but I'm kind of like a little stuck on where to go next because like it doesn't really give you a lot of direction. Like you'll end up doing something and thinking, all right, yeah, I found something. I need something else to do. And a lot of the time you've done that. The last thing I did, I came out from breaking a hole in a wall. And now I'm like, now where do I go? And I literally have no idea where to go. But I've been really enjoying it. It's like kind of cool. Like the 1 minute loop, the 60-second loop.
Yeah.
So it's like
I
was gonna say it's just really cool with the whole 1 minute loop. You'll kind of do something, collect your sword and what have you. And like I literally collected my sword, got to a wall, looked like some kind of cafe. Went in there, got told about crabs. Another day I had crabs, and then died. And I was like, okay. And then you start with your sword, and then you have to like kill these crabs, and then you get a coffee. And there's like little things like that. It's like you'll make some progress in some way, and you'll either know how to do it quicker, or you can skip that bit entirely because you've done it. And like it's kind of like the world for the most part saves. But you reset to your save location, which is one of a few houses. And I really like that. It's pretty cool, like the way it's done.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Very early on, I found a watering can, and I ended up going down with watering can, not realizing that it places your sword. And I was like, what the flip am I doing now? And that's another death. I did figure out what to do with a watering can. I found that this lost person in a desert or something, and they wanted water, so I put water on them. Went back. I think they took me to a boat or something, and yeah, then I got lost trying to find the boat wood.
Yeah, the boat wood is actually rather easy to find.
Is it?
Yeah, it's relatively easy to find. It's starting house, go north. And it's in that area.
Right, okay.
At the very beginning house. Oh, you went a completely different way then.
Yeah.
To where you needed to go. Yeah, like, what do you think of the game visually then? Because obviously you were expecting this bright, colourful game, and this game is literally black and white.
Yeah, to be honest, I was like, have I got the wrong flipping game? As Pedz just giving me like a game. And then I went to Google it before this podcast because I thought maybe there's like 2 Mint games, and then I was like, I couldn't find the game that I played at all. I was like, has Pez just gifted me the wrong game? and then I checked the message and I saw that it said Minit. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So,
you plonker.
Yeah, it's it did remind me of like the Legend of Zelda on Game Boy, a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of similar. Gameplay wise, it's kind of like a simplified version of Zelda, which is more puzzle based than combat and various. Because obviously Zelda has like various bits, but so far I've only had to like stab a couple of snakes that never move and a ball.
Yeah,
That's about
I
it.
think I've not even touched a ball. I just ran away from that. But yeah, it's very much like trial and error. What you need to do.
Yeah.
Um,
It's also
then
like a thing where you need to like remember things you've done, then go back
yeah,
and like grab other things and change things up. Like I said, it's really interesting the whole uh, like trying to remember little bits you've done and then see how they can help you with like another section that you've got to. Because like I said, you don't have to like redo everything you do because you literally get 60 seconds and then you drop dead.
yeah.
Like dead, dead. Except for 60 seconds of in not literally a second.
I don't know whether you found a maze in like the temple. I couldn't
Yeah,
complete any of the temple,
no,
but yeah, and then I found out that you could buy fast shoes.
yeah,
But I didn't have the coins for that. But I think because I was getting really close to it, I was like trying this maze out like probably tens of times. I was like, I'm so close to the end, but yeah, I think with those fast shoes, I might be able to make it.
yeah, yeah. You only need 7 coins, but so far I've found 4 or 5. I haven't found the last 2 or 3. It's a pain in the ass getting those coins because you only get one at a time. So
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I've probably got maybe 4 or 5. But yeah, it's a fun little game. It's one of those things that yeah, because I know when we did Absu last time, I sort of recorded that gameplay.
yeah,
I sort of regretted not recording the initial reactions when I had no fucking clue what was going on, and just like okay, because you're starting the house, I thought, okay, maybe I'd go out of here, and this is gone. Because even the characters sort of look like the toothpaste thing that you played as in Mint. I was like, okay, maybe I'd go out of here, and this is when it turns into a platform, and then it didn't, and then I pressed B or whatever when I got the sword to try and stab him, and that killed me. And
yeah. If you basically the only controls in this game is up, down, left, right to move. Just the directional controls. Then A or cross or X or whatever you want to call it. If you're playing on a pad, I don't know about PC controls.
I'm on Twitter.
And that will attack or use your watering can or whatever you have in your hand. Then the other button, apart from pausing, is the B button, which just means you reset, so you just drop dead. So like one section, I climbed up a lighthouse up to the top of the lighthouse, and then I thought, I wonder if I press B, if I'll just drop down, forgetting what happens. And as I was climbing down, I just dropped dead. I was like, oh,
I mean, to be fair, that you might think the drop dead button's useless. Like I'm thinking, I want to be the guy. If you press Q, then it kills you and sent you back to a checkpoint. But it is pretty handy if you've sort of gone the wrong way or
yeah,
you're not making any progress, and you say you got 20 seconds left on the clock, and you just think, okay, let's just do a quick restart. So it is
yeah.
a useful feature.
I've even used it for, I'm walking around this way. Ooh, I'm going past one of the houses. Walk in the house, press B, die, checkpoint there, and then carry on going just so you've got an extra like 20, 30, 40 seconds,
Yeah.
you know? It makes sense. It makes sense using it to your advantage because, like, it is literally 60 seconds and you know, done. But obviously, like, the game visually, obviously, when I was just talking about it now, it not being colourful and nice, kind of like a old, I can't remember what, like, bit they call it, but it's like black and white, like really old, like 1-bit games, I think they called. Right. 1-bit games. So it's like really minimalistic. But obviously, like, the sprites are nice enough, that the world is pretty cool. It's just obviously it's literally just black and white, which, you know, I have no issues with. I have no problem playing black and white games.
Yeah, I think it added to its charm, to be honest.
Like
Yeah.
another game I played that was black and white that was really good was
Pokemon Black and White.
no, Gato Roboto.
Oh yeah.
It's black and white. I think that's the same kind of 1-bit or whatever they call it.
That a Metroidvania type game? Or
It is, yeah, it is. And you're a cat.
Yeah.
Who goes in a robot suit. And it's fucking is. I played it on, I think it was on Game Pass, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a bash. I played it, I enjoyed it. Yay. And that's the good thing about Game Pass and PS Plus is that you can, like, I wouldn't normally buy this game, but I'll give it a try, and then you play it and you enjoy it, and then you're like, yay. Or you could do what I did and get asked to review Gollum, and then you buy it, and you're like, why did I say yes to this? God damn you, Cricken!
Oh, did you actually purchase it because of Cricket?
Yeah. Bastard.
Man.
Every night before bed, I'll jump on it for an hour because I can't play it for long because I don't like it.
Yeah, it's funny because I heard like the people behind it were proper into it, the Tolkien stuff, and like got all the bits of lore down, but the game just, I don't know. I mean, you never want to do people a disservice. I'm sure they worked hard on it, but
yeah,
it didn't turn out great, right?
Exactly. It's not great, to be honest. That's the thing. It's like I can't do that stuff myself, so credit to the people who can do it. But at the same time, I can criticize things. You know?
Yeah, I think that's yeah. I mean, you don't want to be saying something's good and for the sake of not hurting people's feelings. It's
exactly. Like I don't ever. If anyone says to me, "Oh, what do you think of Jeffyard?" I just tell them straight, he's a butt face. Because I don't want to just be nice, just to know how you're feeling. So I'll just tell them straight, Jeff's a butt face.
I complimented you when I said that we had a good game on Rocket League about 3 or 4 years ago.
Where... 3 or 4 years ago, he gave me a compliment, guys.
But no, I get that. I think it's just a bit of a shame, really, that the game didn't turn out quite as good. But I mean, what can you do once you've started getting down there? So far into development without complete overhaul.
Yeah, I think it didn't help with the fact they blocked so many things behind paid DLC and what have you. I think it screwed the company completely. Like I think they went bankrupt or something. So
yeah, it's am I right in thinking, because I think they only like developed one certain type of game previously, not one game, but like one typical type of game, and then yeah, it went on to do Gollum, which could have been a big break, and
they fucked it.
Yeah.
With Minit, as we've been going for longer than I planned, I would like no problem. I don't mind going for longer if we need to. You know, there's nothing wrong with going a bit longer.
I mean, I don't know whether we needed to, because 15 minutes of talking about films and 10 minutes of talking about giraffe shit.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the kind of guy who just lets things flow as much as they can. You know. Well, to an extent, because I don't want to be talking about fucking giraffe shit for 20 fucking years. But with Minit, do you think we're gonna crack on with the game?
I'll probably play it in bits and pieces. I mean, it's a fairly short game. I think, maybe if I get some time in the next week, I'll probably go on for another hour or so.
According to How Long to Beat, it should take roughly 1.5, aka 1.5 hours to finish the game. For a completionist run where you want all the collectibles, it's around 3 hours. But I always find How Long to Beat is like way faster than I ever finish anything by about fucking 10 hours. So like I've probably played it for longer than an hour and a half a day, and I ain't finished. And I have not got all the every collectible along the way.
No, absolutely. I think I played for maybe about an hour or so. I mean, I know I spent a lot of time just um, doing the maze things, but yeah, it's I always find like probably double that time
You
for
find the
me.
Oasis?
I've not.
I found the Oasis. And I don't mean the soft drink.
After all.
not that either. But yeah, I think as we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, that we should wrap up here. From what you've played of Minit, you say you will continue to play. Would you recommend it to people? I personally would, because I think it's fucking cool, very interesting, and it's one of the few games I've played that has a unique, little timer that doesn't feel like it's like grating in any way. Like some things you might think, oh, you only go a certain distance and then you will die and then you have to redo it. It's not that. You do die and you do reset a little, but a lot of things in the world stay the same. So I think that little USP is pretty cool. What about you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a cool little gimmick. And I imagine it's relatively cheap as well. So I'd say, yeah, go for it. It seems to be well received. I had fun with it. It's a neat little gimmick, if you like. Sort of Zelda as well, but fast paced. Yeah, I think you'll have a blast with it.
Mm-hmm. That is going to be us. But what was you going to say, Ben? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was saying, if not, you can only play it for a minute or so.
Terrible, Jeff.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be us, though, so we will wrap it up here. Jeff, would you like to plug anything?
Yeah, twitch.tv/Pedz.
Damn it, every fucking time. Jeffyard.
If anybody in the UK, in England and Wales, suffers bedbug bites at a hotel, give me a call because I'm taking on bedbug cases at work. I plug my work.
I thought the bedbug thing was happening mainly in France than the UK. Is it happening a lot in the UK now?
Yeah, they've come over to London and spread. So yeah, if you're ever in a hotel in London, Wales, or just any personal injury that you might have, drop me a message.
Jeff, I was masturbating and the window fell on my penis. What do I do? How much money can you get me? Landlord didn't put the windows in properly.
It depends on what injuries you suffered.
Didn't cut it off, like it just landed on it.
Window of opportunity, eh? Work it out. I'll have to see images.
I'll send them over now. Thank you, Jeff, for taking part. Thank you for everyone who's listened. We will be back in a fortnight with another game, me and someone else. I'll be back in a week with me and whoever else talking about film on Pugsley Crew Reviews. Don't forget to check out twitch.tv/Jeffyard. That's JEFFYARD. Jeffyard. And yeah, you'll get to see his streams, not his penis. Bye. Have a good one. Bye.